Hello kids, have a nice day. Let us back to our geography class again. In the last class we have discussed about some of the important lines that we can see on a globe. And we know what is a globe and some important imaginary lines like latitudes or different other degrees of latitudes etc. we have studied. But can we see only that latitudes or horizontal or parallel lines alone on a globe? No. One another type of line also will be there, that is vertical line from pole to pole. That lines passing from north pole to south pole or vertical lines on a globe are known as longitudes. Parallel lines are known as latitudes, vertical lines are known as longitudes. And they start from one pole and we end in the another pole. So one important speciality that all the longitudes starting from one pole to another have same length. All of them have same length because they are starting from one pole to another. Just opposite of our latitudes. Latitudes are different degrees. 0 degree, 23.5 degree, 66.5 degree, etc. But in case of longitudes, as they are from one point to another, as they all have same degree. So it is very difficult to identify which longitude is passing here and there. All longitudes are starting from one point, that is pole, and passing through all this. That we know that the shape of our globe is circle or geoid, and it will be having a semicircle style will be there while we are drawing it on a globe. So starting from one point and passing all these and joining in another point. So all longitude starts from one point. There is no any distance between the beginning of these longitudes. But on the way, in the central side or in the middle of this globe, as it is bulged a little, the difference between or the distance between longitudes will be vary in the central area and same in the pole areas. These longitudes are also known as meridians of longitudes, and its degrees are known as different values of these longitudes are known as degrees of longitude. So we told that all these have same length or similar length. That's why as it is difficult to name all these longitudes one by one, all countries decided to consider one important longitude, that is passing through Greenwich, where the British Royal Observatory located, and that line is known as prime meridian or Greenwich line. So the important longitude passing through Greenwich, where the British Royal Observatory located, is considering as prime meridian. So from prime meridian, it will be starting to all this. That is, as our globe is in a circle shape, we can see that from 0 degree or prime meridian's value is 0 degree. From prime meridian, lots of degrees are there, and we know that as it is in the shape of a circle, the total value or degree of a circle is 360 degree. So the total 360 degree is the value of our longitude also. 0 degree is prime meridian. From prime meridian, 180 degree east and 180 degree west. Such another division also is made by longitude on a globe. So we studied that latitudes or 0 degree latitude or equator divides our globe into northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. But here prime meridian or 0 degree prime meridian divides our globe into eastern hemisphere and western hemisphere. So as every countries of world have their own longitudes, as it is passing through one pole to another, the countries will be identified with the longitudes with the letter E and the letter W. Letter E stands for eastern longitudes and letter W stands for western longitudes. So 0 degree longitude is known as prime meridian, that is passing through Greenwich in London or in England, where the British Royal Observatory located. And from Greenwich line, 180 longitude to east and 180 longitude into west. Two equal halves are made again. So one another interesting point also is there that 180 degree east and west will be same. Is it? So here from 0 180 and from here from 0 to east or west also 180. So 180 east and west is same and 0 degree also same. Do you know what is the importance or what is the role that the latitudes and longitudes plays for our daily life? Both these lines are helping us to locate a place clearly on a globe between whichever latitudes and whichever longitudes. Every countries will be having latitudes and longitudes. So a particular latitude and a particular longitude together makes a proper location for a place. Just like here in case of for India, we have latitudes and longitudes. And we know that our country entirely located in the northern hemisphere as per equator, and in the eastern hemisphere as per Greenwich meridian. But we can see or already know that lots of longitudes are there in northern hemisphere and lots of latitudes are there in northern hemisphere and number of longitudes are there in the eastern hemisphere together. So in order to locate a place correctly, the particular degrees of longitudes and latitudes help us. So, the most important role played by latitude and longitude is to locate a place on a globe clearly. But one another important function also plays by our longitude, that it helps us to measure the time of a particular place. It helps us to measure the time of a particular place. According to the number of longitudes, we can identify the particular time of an area. So, as lots of longitudes are there, it is very difficult to find out the time, but there are some different techniques to find out the particular time of every places on the globe. We all know that our sun is rising in the east and setting in the west regularly. There is no changes. So one another fact also we know that our globe or earth is moving from west to east. From west to east. So as our sun is rising in the eastern side, the places or the countries in the eastern side always gets first sunlight. So the time or the morning will be first in the east and next in the west. And we know one another important thing also, that the total degree of our globe is 360 degree. To complete these 360 degrees of rotation one time, our earth takes 24 hours of time, that is 1 day. 1 day needed to complete one rotation on our or movement of our earth around the sun. In order to get sunlight on all these 360 degrees of longitude, 1 day or 24 hours of time needed. So we can calculate one another thing, that if 24 hours are taking to complete one spin or one movement around the sun to complete 360 degrees, within 1 hour 15 degrees of longitudes will be covered. Within 1 hour 15 degrees of longitudes will be covered. So within 1 minute it will be 4 degree. Only 4 degree will be covered with 1 minute. Within 1 hour, 15 degree we will cover. With 24 hour, 360 will be completed. So we can identify or we can study one important fact, that the difference between or the distance between one longitude to another. See, the time taken by sunlight to reach from one longitude to another is 4 minutes of time will be taken. So 4 minutes will be taken by earth to move from one longitude to another, to get sunlight on the one longitude on another. So lots of such 4 minutes need to complete one day, 24 hours of time. So the time wherever sunlight happen, it will be morning. Where it happen or where it reaches in the another longitude, again time will be changed. 4 minutes of difference will be there on the timing from one longitude to another. So it is very risky to find out the time of a country, because a country may be not having only one longitude. As the size of countries are a little bit lengthy, lots of longitudes will be there for every of our countries on the globe. For easiness to study about the timing of different country, just we have to we can identify a simple example. That is, just suppose the time in Greenwich is 12 noon. 12 noon. So a place located in the eastern hemisphere, that is with the 15 degree eastern hemisphere, the longitude passes through that area will be having the time 1 hour ahead. That means 12 hour is there in the Greenwich time. So 1 hour ahead means 1 p.m. Because that 15 degree longitude have many more 4 minutes. Is it 15 into 4 makes 1 hour ahead. So 12 noon in the Greenwich, but a country located in the eastern hemisphere with 15 degree will be having 1 hour ahead. So it will be 1 o'clock. But just to be here in the another side, in western hemisphere, we studied that time behind, that means time in the western hemisphere will be behind the Greenwich time. So a country located in the western hemisphere with the 15 degree will be having 1 hour behind. Suppose, so if it is 12 noon in the Greenwich, what will be the 1 hour behind? It will be 11 o'clock in the morning. So 1 hour, that is 15 into 4 minutes will be, 15 into 4 is 60 minutes. 60 minutes is equal to 1 hour. So from Greenwich, time will be ahead in the eastern hemisphere and time will be behind in the western hemisphere. So it can be easy to find out how many longitudes are there for a country. If it is 10 to 20, 10 degrees of longitudes will be there. So the time we can calculate. So in order to calculate or to measure the time of a country properly, longitudes are very much helpful. So children, shall we find out the time of our country India? Do we have only one longitude? No. Lots of longitudes are there and lots of latitudes are there. So in order to find out the time, that means our eastern longitude starts from 68 degree. 68 degree to 97 degree latitudes. So longitudes are there for our country. 68 to 97. Lots of longitudes, around 20 longitudes are there. So all these longitudes, all these 20 longitudes have its own 4 minutes gap. So the time from one, that is from Gujarat to Arunachal Pradesh. Arunachal Pradesh is the easternmost state and Gujarat is the westernmost state. So sunlight reaches first in Arunachal Pradesh. So the morning will be started from Arunachal Pradesh in the beginning, and as it is moving, then Assam or Bihar or Uttar Pradesh etc. gets sunlight. But because during those time Arunachal Pradesh moved to another side. So time is always varies from one place to another in our own country. So it is very difficult to chart any of our programs, even our school time or journey, everything will be in danger because time from one place to another is varies. So to get a solution for this problem, our country, not only our country, every country of the world does the same. Here what our country do, that we have find out the middle longitude of our nation, that is from 68 to 97, around this 20 longitudes are there. The middle longitude is considering as 82.5 east longitude. 82.5 east longitude is the central longitude of India. This 82.5 longitude divides India's longitudes into two equal halves. So the time on that 82.5 east longitude is considering as the time for our total nation. Is it? So there will be no any variations. Or 68 longitude have its own degrees or its own time. 70 degree longitude has its own time. Or 90 will be having its own time. That means every people inside our country faces or feel different time in our own nation. That makes many problems. So the central meridian or the central longitude, which makes our Indian longitude into two equal half, that is 82.5 degree east longitude. We studied that a letter will be added with the longitude, either east or west. As we are in the eastern hemisphere, 82.5 east longitude is our central longitude. That's why that longitude is known as standard time meridian of India, which decides what is the time for our country every time. That's why all the watches, all the clocks inside our country shows same time. If you are in Kerala or in Arunachal Pradesh or in Assam or in Bihar, it doesn't matter. Everyone will be having same time in our watch. But as our sun is giving sunlight in different time, local time may be vary. But total or the standard time of our country will be decided by the 82.5 degree east longitude. That gives a correct time for every of our country. That is not for India. Every countries of the world have such a number of longitudes. If a country is a little bit more lengthy, instead of using one standard time meridian, some countries are following 2 or 3 standard meridians. Okay, so standard time meridian help us to keep a common time throughout our nation. So we studied from this chapter very important points just like that. Latitudes are there, longitudes are there, all of them have its own important places or its own roles to play. And we need to study one more thing from this chapter, that we studied from 0 degree prime meridian or from 0 degree Greenwich time meridian, 4 minutes of gap or distance is there between every longitude. So what will be the time difference between India and Greenwich meridian, you know? Lots of longitudes are there from 0 degree to 82 point or 82 and half. Number of 4 minutes are there. So while adding or while measuring that all 4 minutes together, we can find out that the distance between our standard meridian or the time between or the time difference between India and at London or in England or in the Royal British Royal Observatory, the time difference between these two countries 5 hours 30 minutes. 5.5 hours of distance is there between England or the prime meridian and our standard time meridian. That's why the same that we also can identify that while our parents or someone is passing or traveling from our country to another, entirely different timing is the feeling in everywhere. It is because of the longitudinal variation from one place to another, and the time along every of these longitudes also are vary from 4 minutes from one longitude to another. So if longitudes are there a lot for a nation, sure the time also will be a lot. So such countries consider a particular longitude as their standard time meridian in order to get a proper time for that nation. So here we studied a lot of points about the imaginary lines on a globe. And we can study one more important thing, that while we are watching a globe, we will be seeing, just we studied that longitudes are there as latitudes are there as parallel lines and longitudes are there as vertical. While we are drawing such latitudes and longitudes, we will be able to find number of boxes. Is it? Number of boxes will be found here and there. Such boxes or shapes, a square shape or whatever shapes that formed on the globe with the latitudes and longitudes are known as grid. Grids are the different box-like shapes formed on globe with the presence of latitudes and longitudes. And on every of that grids there will be having 4 points will be there. All that 4 points, that is a crossing area, that is longitudes and latitudes may be crossed at a particular point, that help to locate every countries and also to fix the time of that particular nation. So most important points from that chapter that we have discussed here. Then I think you all understood what is the importance of latitudes and longitudes here also. So study well. We will meet in the next class with another important lesson. So thank you. Have a nice day.